Good evening, I'm Dr. Oculus, and today's video is going to be a little bit different because last night I may have mentioned to the Twitterverse that I was this close to hitting 400 subscribers, and in no time whatsoever, we did it, everybody. So I just want to say a massive thank you to everybody in the VR community for joining me on this journey. It has been fantastic, and you guys know how much I love you so much. And to show that throughout this video, I am going to be littering a few VR game keys, maybe one or two for the PC, and maybe the odd key for the Oculus Quest as well. It's kind of obvious which one's which. The Steam keys are around 15 and the Oculus Quest are about 25, so you'll see which one's which. But in the process of all of this, I actually got introduced to one of the people behind the Etee button-free VR controllers. Now, we talked about these a little bit on the podcast because I'm the Kickstarter guy, so when I take one look at these controllers, I instantly see that they are for the Steam, the Steam Play Space, the Steam World, and that is basically no good to me. I don't have any Steam base stations, so instantly I dismissed these controllers. Now, admittedly, it was a bit rushed. So today we are going to take a look through their Kickstarter campaign, see what they've got on offer, have a look at the opinions of a few people that I do actually respect, a few members of the VR community, and also they have given me an exclusive, never seen before, 1-minute video of them playing Half-Life Alyx using the Etee controllers. And then tomorrow they've actually got a very long form video of it coming out. I will leave descriptions to these I'll leave these in the description so you can see them, and then tomorrow when they release the videos you'll be there to see them in action, to see the Etee controllers being used in a scenario that the VR community want to see them used. So, here we are on their Kickstarter page. They are at 39,978 of their £45,900 goal. I do not have a doubt in my mind in 31 days they're going to get that last £6,000. It's going to happen. They are going to fund. So, you don't need to worry about that. But let's have a look and see what these things truly are. I'm just going to tweak my volume down here a touch a little bit, and let's see what these things are actually about. Now, the first thing that you will notice is that they are buttonless, which instantly it makes me think. See, I said this on the podcast. I like buttons. When I'm playing games on a mobile phone, you reach for a fire button or something while you're trying to play PUBG. It's not there. I like a button to orientate myself. So I've never tried these. I honestly don't know whether buttonless will work. I don't know if you will accidentally pull off a gesture that you don't want to, for example, where you've got that mapped to a button. So if you use this for a specific action, are you accidentally going to do that when you're trying to reshift or... There's a lot that's sort of unknown about these at the moment. Also, the Steam Index controllers exist. Now, the first thing that you can see, one of the massive benefits, is that you aren't going to have to RMA these because your thumbsticks don't work very well. So there is that. I am curious to know how the larger hand, these sausage fingers, would actually go in this tiny little hole, but that's something that you never know. Maybe I will be able to try out in the future. It's not that I'm against the Steam or the Valve, the HTC ecosystem. It's a case of it's finances is the short answer. Why spend £1,000 on an Index when you can spend £400 on a Rift? It's that is one of the biggest deciders. It was the thing with HTC and Oculus when I bought my Rift years ago, and it's the same now. I now have the plug sockets, admittedly. I've got one in that corner and one in that corner, so I could realistically, install a Valve base station in this room now, but We'll see what the future brings. You know, if I won 95 grand on Lorraine Kelly this morning, then I probably would buy an Index. It's going to happen. But, so yeah, this is their Kickstarter video. This is
wear it,
2
pinch it, swing it, catch it, trigger it, punch it, whip it, swish it, squeeze it. Introducing Etee, the button-free VR controller.
So that's the first thing. A lot of these videos you will see that they've essentially got these controllers, but then they've got a Vive tracker strapped to this section on here. And I noticed on Twitter that was causing some confusion and people just being like, well, if it's just using the Vive trackers. This little strip here is actually what they're looking to ship with. They're just the dev units using the Vive trackers because you have to track them somehow. Once they've got everything all up and running, then it's going to be, you know, much, much better. From what I've seen, they've been working on these things for 2 years. It started back in the beginning of 2018, and they're looking at shipping by the end of this year. So, you know, in time for Christmas, don't treat yourself to an Xbox 7000 or the PlayStation again. Just buy these instead and have more fun.
Designed to be put on in 3 seconds, Etee allows anyone to dive.
That was quick. So, I mean, I don't know what seasoned Index users are like. My experience with the Index, I put my hand in the thing and then I was a lot of jiggling around. I was pulling the cord and then being like, that's too tight, that's not tight enough. And then I had problems with like the middle finger being tracked. But that right there, from naught to gripping a thing, was actually quite impressive.
Designed to be put on in 3 seconds, Etee allows anyone to dive straight into VR without thinking.
And it does seem to be
powered by
tracking
patented
the fingers
TG0 sensor technology. It senses every finger movement, touch, proximity, pressure, and gestures. Etee is more intuitive than any other clunky controllers.
I don't know about that one. I feel like there'd be a period of adjustment, definitely. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, I am used to, say, for example, I've got great examples here, the Xbox controller. This fits in my hand. It goes, I can't really put this in my hand and show you as well. But everything just sits normally. It sits right where everything should be. And then there's this, the Switch controller, which it feels a little clunky. But if this is your #1 gamepad, it's perfectly normal. In fact, even better, the PlayStation gamepad. That is quite close to the Xbox controller. That is miles off. So there is a difference, but there are PlayStation fans that cannot hold an Xbox pad to save their lives. They can't stand them. And this feels slightly weird to me. Admittedly, I actually grew up playing more PlayStation than I did Xbox. So my hands fall into position pretty well. And it's a fairly well-designed pad, which actually, side note, did you see the new PlayStation pad? They've gone a little bit closer to that banana they promised us for PlayStation 3. They have. They have changed this ever so slightly. Which, when I hold this, I feel like there is an empty space just here in the palm of my hand. And I feel like that new pad is going to fill that space. So, you know, here's hoping. So I feel like there would be a period of adjustment. I don't know if that claim is as accurate as what they say. But it might be. As I say, I've not had the chance to use these controllers yet.
With gestural shortcuts built in, you will never need to worry about clicking the wrong button again. Start to play.
See, that was my first worry, is that I accidentally do a gesture or whatever to do the wrong thing. So I would love to test that theory, because if anybody, I mean, you guys have watched me, you know, if anybody can break something, it's me.
Play, and once you start, you won't be able to stop. Etee SteamVR comes with an ultra-lightweight bespoke tracker. You can now play every game on SteamVR. It takes you away from binary button commands and brings you into a new world of gesture, grip, and touch.
So I feel like Super Hot only ever had grip. That's what I would love to see.
PC gamer? Not to worry, Etee's got you covered. With smart key binding in place, 3-degree of
there's
freedom
Jason
positional
Bradbury.
sensing and haptic
Fantastic
motor
friend of
embedded,
virtual reality.
every
God,
fight
love
is more
Jason.
realistic.
Ooh. Now that didn't occur to me. This is a controller that you could realistically use outside of virtual reality. I've never really thought about using, say, a Rift controller outside of virtual reality because it's not really doable. But these could realistically replace your Xbox pad. That's interesting. I wonder how they would work with Rocket League.
Operation more sensitive, every player more in control.
Hey, there's VRBug. Another friend of the channel. Gotta love VRBug. Check him out if you haven't already. Some fantastic live streams.
We aim to build up a community of gamers, developers and artists who are passionate about immersion. We are here to help you realising your inventions.
They were just controlling that with a drone, right? Like, they were controlling a drone with the Etee controllers. So I assume that means it's Bluetooth.
With Etee Dev Kit, which offers the ability to build with C++, Unity, Python and much more to come. Our team has been working tirelessly since 2018. We now need your support and feedback.
That looks like they've essentially ripped apart an index controller and strapped it to the Etee using masking tape. Interesting choice. Okay. I mean, at the end of the day, if you like reverse engineering and then tweaking, then I suppose that's what you do. There was a thing back there that caught my eye. What was it?
The team has been working tirelessly since 2000.
Oh yeah, it looks like they're targeting more than just virtual reality with these things. Although it does list it as a button-free VR controller, so I don't know if they're going to.
We now need your support and feedback to take to the next step and bring Etee into your hands.
Please back Etee!
Alright, that's just the people fucking around. So yeah, they're on and running in seconds. And there's no buttons, so it looks like they intend on getting around this with a series of gestures. So when I've been watching these videos, you can sort of see how it did it then. They are picking up squeezes, points, and different gestures. So that is point. There you go. So you got pointing. So it detects it as a point, detects that as a squeeze. And so it's going to be looking for those gestures followed by another action, I suppose, like a trigger pull or... Oh, this is a bit of the Jason Bradbury stuff. VR Rosie. These are a game changer in the VR world. Super sleek, beautifully minimal. So she obviously likes the lightness of them. I mean, what she's doing is essentially for hours at a time, she's waving these things around, which I said it like Run Dorothy Run, the Rift controller. After you've done this for about 10 minutes, weigh a ton. So she's knocked this up using the Etee controllers. Now, whether that means that they are the same as a VR controller and she's just amazing, if she's working past any problems with this and she's amazing, or if they're incredibly simple and easy to use. She's knocked up a freaking wonderful night sky.
Absolutely fantastic. Would recommend to every VR user.
That is big. Would recommend to every VR user. That is... I'm starting to believe the hype. This is dangerous. This is very dangerous. What else did she say here? You're more free to use and manipulate the controller how you want rather than having to conform to a gun-like grip. Yeah, I suppose everything does really sort of sit around guns. Gun-like sort of grip, you just don't even know that they are there. So... I do remember hearing somebody else basically say that after a while they almost feel like you're not wearing them, which is impressive. So, no clicks or interruptions. Now in today's world, the COVID-19 world in which we live, this is a very, very good, very big thing. I don't know if I would fancy spraying down, my controllers and having them fail because something got in there, whereas these obviously are able to be squirted because all of your contact point is essentially one solid rubberized grip, so it's all sealed. So that's actually a pretty great thing. So this is the dev kit that I was saying with the Vive tracker, and then this is what the finished thing is going to look like. These are all the iterations they've gone through by the looks of things. This is oh, here we go. So you've got the trackpad. This is how they're essentially going to mimic a Vive wand. So you've got a button. So you've got a click in on the top, and then this light bar is actually a button. You lied to me. It's not buttonless. Although realistically, if it's more like a pressure-sensitive pad as opposed to a button, then you get away with it. And then, so the trigger, you've got the grip button, which is essentially done by gripping, and you can customize them. And then the trigger, you work by pulling the trigger or pressing the top thing. So, I mean, it looks like it's certainly doable. This is the big thing. So, here we go. You've got your price. £259 for the Etee, £259 for the Index controllers. So they're exactly the same price. If you're looking to upgrade, maybe it's the way forward. They are lighter than an Index controller, which VROs certainly seem to like. They do the finger sensing, the pressure sensing, the sensitive adjustment. The Index controller doesn't do that, the Etee does. I'm not entirely sure what that means, if I'm perfectly honest, but there you go. Hands-free, so yeah, you can do this with it, which, I mean, realistically, with a little bit of shoelace, you can do that with an Oculus controller as well. Third-party integration, and, you can change the colour of the handles. So you don't have to have it in jet black. You like the customizability, then you've certainly got that there as well. The Oculus controller is actually a lot lighter than the competitors, which I didn't actually know. The finger sensing we're aware of, pressure sensing, fair enough, hands-free. Now, the thing is, I've got the Kiwi straps for the Quest controller. So I can go hands-free as well. But when it comes to being hands-free, when it comes to the VR controllers, a lot of the times I like to sort of have the controller in my hand. I know this one's backwards, but then I just do this and I can have a drink and then just back onto the controller again. The knuckles, that is a pain in the arse. I'm going to say that straight away. It was one of the things I was at Buck's house and I was like, oh yeah, let me just grab a thing, and I had this thing strapped to my hand and then it's sutured up and it's strapped in well and truly. The Quest controllers I just let go. Do I want the Etees? I mean, the way they just went and they were on could be a sort of middle ground for that, which that's a plus side for it, certainly. Let's see. So they're ultra lightweight. The SteamVR looking at 120 grams. The non-button thing on there is customizable LED. The battery lasts for 6 hours. So that's pretty good. I mean, you're certainly going to do better. Say you bought a original Cosmos and then you buy the Pro upgrade. You could then buy these and get 3 times more battery life than your current Cosmos controllers, which aren't going to be tracked anyway because you've got the Pro upgrade. They are USB-C to charge them and they're Bluetooth. So yeah, that explains the drone. Here's somebody playing Beat Saber with it. Beat Saber, it's perfect. You literally need nothing other than something. You can play Beat Saber with a tracker. And yeah, it looks like they've incorporated it into Half-Life Alyx as well. Jason Bradbury, let's see what Jason had to say. Oh, this is 7 minutes long. Okay, yeah, let's not touch Jason. Hey, there's another VR person that we know, love, and trust. That is Kaz and Shari, who said...
The Etee controllers. We are going to start with the only hardware in this list. The Etee controllers are an intriguing piece of hardware that could become a competitor to the Valve Index controllers. These controllers are by a company called TG0, and as far as I know, they are new in the VR industry. They use a proprietary plastic surface that is capacitive, which can track each finger and detect how much pressure is applied. During OC6 they showed us a demo of these controllers and it was working great already. You put your fingers through the handle, allowing you to open your hands without dropping the controllers. They are lightweight too, which is a nice change. In its current form there are no buttons except for a touchpad on top of the handle. And on their laptop they showed software that allowed us to see what hand gestures were made. I felt the finger tracking was actually more accurate than the Valve Index controllers.
That's something I was actually thinking about, because I had issues with like the middle fingers when I was playing with Buck's Index controllers, whereas they're saying here that they're actually more accurate than the Index. So, I mean, you know, big plus for them, I guess.
Talking to the developer, they've said that they can add buttons like a trigger based on feedback. Currently, the business version of these controllers starts from £1,500, but don't be alarmed about this price. I talked to the devs about a consumer version, and they say that they are planning on releasing one for $200 US, which could potentially make this a cheaper competitor to the Valve Index controllers. I am curious to see if they can partner up with SteamVR or Oculus to get these controllers working with current games. What do you think of these controllers? Please do let us know in the comments.
So that's their coverage, which does seem to be quite positive. And hey, here we go, another friend of the channel, VRBug, trying them out at EGX 2019. I have the Valve Index, which does a similar thing. It's quite a chunky controller. This is lights up.
Yeah, exactly. So what we're going to do is bring controllers that are like serious, not with so many
They're really like, they're not intrusive because they're so small.
Exactly.
It's like I've got the Valve Index at home that does a similar kind of thing. But it's quite chunky controllers, it's like slide into your hand. And this is like kind of like pick up and play.
Yeah, exactly.
So there we go as well. VRBug seemed to be fairly impressed with the brief time that he had hands-on with them. And then there's lots of other people that have checked it out. And it seems as if it's super compatible with the SteamVR space, which is very, very good. So this is the LED that's going to be changeable. And then the sensing area, the on and off switch at the bottom. Everything looks very 3D printed at the moment. I imagine the final is going to be much, much better. The possibilities are endless. You can use them for multiple kinds of things. Telepresence and remote work, corporate training, drone robotic control, rehab and medical use, hacking and making, VR art and design, Internet of Things integration, smart home appliance control. Huh. Didn't think about that one. You can just walk around and just be like, lights, and just turn your lights on even brighter and things like that. That could be pretty fun to play with, but ultimately I don't think you want to be spending 260 quid on a remote control for your lights. So, alright, this is their roadmap. So in 2018, the idea for Etee came, and then design come by June, and they're looking at delivering for December with assembly in September. Now, I don't know how the COVID-19 thing is going to affect that. It may lengthen this process, but that's something they're going to have to keep up with. And you can actually just buy one of them for 130 quid. So there you go. 130 quid, you can control your lights probably. £200 for a dev kit. That's fairly useful, but I mean, I've tried dev kit things in the past, and realistically they are exactly that. They're not consumer, they are dev. They're a lot of faff. So it's gonna be something you have to look into. And so yeah, it looks like there was an early bird, 239. I guarantee they're all gone at this point. 259 is what you're looking at for the current iteration.
Loud noises!
We've got the Etee Steam Ghost. What's the Ghost? The Ghost Edition, both hands, SDK access, and a name on the Etee website. What's the Ghost? Advanced Haptics Dev Kit. Actronica HD Haptics Engine. I don't know what that means. The Ultimate Backer Pack. For £3,000, you can get your name etched onto all Etee PCBs. Oh, wow, yeah, so they're on about putting names on the circuitry, which nobody's going to see. The Ghost Edition for both hands, commemorative polyframed PCB, your name on the website, and SDK access. Shipping and handling is £10 to the UK, £15 elsewhere around the world. Import charges may apply. And join their Discord. So I'll put links to all of this, the Kickstarter, their Discord, their Half-Life Alyx videos. I'll put everything in the description below, and then you can check them out for yourself. And then this is the team behind the technology. So it was actually Jakob Kamecki, the ecosystem manager, that I actually got chatting to, who gave me access to this. So thank you very much for that, Jakob. Very much appreciated. And then this is how they're... Oh yeah, so this is how they intend on spending your money. 17.5 for the making, 15... Wow, taxes and fees. Got to get it straight into the little guy there, don't you, government? Or 10 grand for other things, and then 2.5 grand for fulfilling the whole backing side of things. I don't see anything about this ghost. Ghost. What's the ghosts? Where's the ghosts? Oh, here. Ultimate Backer, Arcade Pack. So that's one thing, I suppose. If you do run a VR arcade, then these are going to be better than an index controller, because like I say, you can squirt them down. Where's the ghost stuff? Where's the first mention of the ghost? Etee SteamVR, Etee Dev Kit. Ghost Edition. Limited edition, fully translucent body, same functionality in the Etee Steam controllers. So they're transparent, so you can see all the gubbins inside. Okay, that's what the Ghost Edition is. Which sounds pretty damn cool, to be fair, and depending on the LED situation, especially if you've got your name etched onto one of the PCBs, that could be pretty damn good to get. $349 for those though, so it depends if you want to spend the extra 150 odd, no, 100 odd pound to get the Ghost Edition, but it looks pretty cool. So that's the Etee. As I say, I've not tried them, so I can't tell you whether I think they're fantastic or crap, and there's no likelihood of me trying them in the near future because I don't have any kind of a base station to track them. If anything changes, you know darn well I'm certainly going to be trying to try them out as soon as I possibly can, because, I mean, even just to say I've tried it, it's something that you want to do. But that is it for today. Hopefully you've managed to pick up one or two of the games that I've popped in the video as we've been watching along and looking through the Kickstarter. I'm usually pretty sneaky, so make sure you keep your beady eye for them. And then also now, the moment we've been waiting for, the Half-Life Alyx exclusive gameplay video, thanks to TG0 and the people for the Etee VR controllers.
So we can using trackpad to do the scroll, and we select. So we're using pointing to do teleport, and the trackpad can work as a D-pad to change the view.
Alyx!
It's good, Dad. Metrocop movement is normal. Same for the Combine patrols.
House, baby. We'll be there soon.
Would you... Terrific.
If you like this, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And thank you ever so much once again to the VR community for your support and generosity. It's always very much appreciated. You're a beautiful, beautiful bunch. Now, get back to your daily lives. The Doctor is out.